Hello everyone, welcome to Even the Scales. Thank you for clicking on this video and I hope you're all having a good day. My name's Donna and today on my channel I want to talk about the latest stunt that the police here in Campbelltown, New South Wales have carried out, and they stooped to an all-time low last night. I don't think they could actually stoop any lower with what they did. First of all though, I would like to do an acknowledgement of country and acknowledge the Dharawal people, who are the true custodians of this land that I bring you these messages on today. I would also like to pay respect to elders past and present, as well as extend my respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are watching this video today. For those of you who haven't heard my story before, my family, the majority of my community, and the police and other authorities in my town, which is Campbelltown, New South Wales, have been carrying out something called MK Ultra Mind Control on me. If you are not familiar with what that is, it's when a large group or a community of people get together and carry out premeditated, cruel abuse tactics on one individual, and this is to cause them psychological torture. So this is what has been being done to me. And this is done to people to either cause them serious mental or physical health problems, or even death, whichever comes first. Or in some cases, people just give up on their lives and take their own life because the abuse that they're going through is so bad and they feel like they've got no one to turn to, because you are purposely isolated when you are going through this. And this is what's been happening to me. The police have been, or the justice system have been bribing my family and the community to purposely isolate me. There have even been large organisations that I have reached out to for help that haven't helped me, that were supposed to help me. It's a part of their organisation or their job to help me, but they haven't done that because they've either been told not to or because they've been bribed not to help me. The police and my family have been carrying out abuse on me for over 2 years, but the rest of the majority of the community got involved with this around a year ago when the police started bribing them to do this. And this was after I wrote a letter to the police about how I had been treated and how police had responded to my calls for help over the past 9 years while I have been living with family and domestic violence. There were 12 calls made to the police during that time, and all of those calls during all of those calls, I was either treated very unfairly or my calls weren't even followed up. The reports that I made were not even followed up by the police. This is due to the fact that I had family members in the police force, and there were also police officers that were connected to my family that were obstructing justice. They were stopping me from getting the justice that I deserved during that time. My family have also stolen an inheritance from me, so this is why they are so invested in being a part of this. Obviously, they don't want to give that inheritance back, and the justice system helped them do that, and they also want to keep that covered up. And there's also the fact that domestic violence is such a huge problem here in Australia, and the police do not want that information being made to the public, being made available to the public about how they treated me while I have been living with family and domestic violence over the past 9 years. They do not want that information being made available. They're trying to hide that, so that's a big part of this. And there's also other crimes involving police officers that were connected to my family that have actually committed crimes that they don't want to be caught for those things either. And one of those crimes includes a serious and very violent offence against a woman. I also reported a pedophile in 2020 that the police have done nothing about. And this is because they just use that to carry out psychological abuse on me. They did nothing about that person. That person is still living in a community, and that is just to cause me psychological pain, no other reason. So it's all of these things that they're trying to keep covered up. I had to create this channel just to protect myself because I'm being put through some very cruel abuse, and it's relentless what's been going on. The people of this community have just been relentless in the abuse that they have been carrying out on me, and the police as well. And I'm being subjected to some very inhumane treatment right now. I just want to add as well that I have done nothing to deserve any of this. I am totally innocent in this situation. This is all being done to me as a part of a police cover-up or a cover-up by the whole justice system. They do not want any of this information being made public, so they would rather take me out of the picture rather than take accountability for anything that they have done. So I have to protect myself. I have to speak out about this right now. And a part of this inhumane treatment that I've been going through is the fact that my human rights, my basic human rights, are being violated in very extreme ways. There is a listening device in my home. There is also a listening device in my car, and I am tracked everywhere I go. My devices have all been hacked as well, and the police and the community can listen in on my home as well as remote view my devices. So this is just disgusting how my, rights are being violated in this way. And this is being done so that these people and the police can carry out this abuse on me, so that they know what I'm doing at all times, and, they can get ideas on how to carry out abuse. And obviously, a lot of them are getting paid for it as well. And because the police are condoning it, a lot of them just think, yeah, they can do whatever they like. And a lot of the people that live around me have been a part of this, not all of them, but a very large majority of the people that live close to me have been a part of this. And these people, they just never stop. They still haven't stopped. And because they have that close access to my energy, they take full advantage of that. And they are just, relentless in the things that they are doing. Some of them have actually just dedicated their whole lives to doing this because they are getting paid for it, or they expected to get a large sum of money or something like that, after something happened to me. But a lot of them are just doing it for their entertainment. It's really, really sick. It is. And it's been almost the whole community against one person. And I guess they didn't think that I would stand up for myself the way that I have and speak out about it. And I've actually witnessed some of these people, the ones that live around me that are involved in it, it's like they're actually angry that I am just not laying down and taking the abuse that they're dishing out at me. It's absolutely unbelievable. But this just gives me more and more determination to keep speaking out about it and to make this known to people out there, because obviously the justice system have done this to people before in the past and gotten away with it. And the police here in Campbelltown, they're not just condoning what's happening here, they are actually joining in on the abuse. They stalk me every day, and they have done for the last 11 months. And they do this several times a day. And what they do it during the day or the night. And what they do is they put their siren on and they turn it on and off. And this is just to let me know that they're there, and it's to intimidate me and just to cause me stress and anxiety And also just to rub the fact in that, yes, that they are not there to help me, they will not help me, and that they are a part of this. So this is what they've been doing. And this has been going on over the past 48 hours since I made the last video. They haven't stopped. They have also been going over in the helicopter. They fly low over the house, once again, just to intimidate me and cause me anxiety and stress. And they know that I have severe PTSD, so this is why they are doing this. And last night, these police just stooped as low as any human being could stoop, as far as I'm concerned. There was a story on 60 Minutes last night, and the story was done by Dimity Clancy and Anne Worthington. Did this story on 60 Minutes last night, and it was about how some of the women that have taken their own lives while they have either been living in domestic violence situations or after they have left the situation, some of these cases have not been being investigated thoroughly. And the current statistics are that a woman loses their life every 6 days to domestic violence in this country. But during this story, it explained how experts have been looking into it, and that actually that figure should be actually anywhere up around hundreds more than every 6 days someone's losing their life. It should be hundreds more. And this is because it's coming to light that in a lot of these cases where the women have taken their own lives, a lot of these women have done this because they have actually been pushed to taking their own life. They've been pushed to that point of taking their own life because of the horrific abuse that they've been suffering through. And in some of these cases, or in a lot of them, it should actually be classified as murder because they have actually been driven to taking their own life. So, it's because that these cases are not being investigated thoroughly enough. And not only that, a lot of these suicides could actually be classed as murders, could actually be murders that have been covered up to look like suicides as well. So there's the fact that they are driven to the point of suicide, some of them, because of the abuse that they are suffering through. But not only that, is also the fact that, in some of these cases, they could have actually been murdered, and it's just been covered up and made to look like a suicide. So it's because they're not being investigated thoroughly that, a lot of these are going unnoticed. And so this information, it really relates to the injustices that I have been going through, in the way that the police didn't handle my calls for help in the way that they should have, and nor did my abuser receive any consequences from the police when I called them for help while I was living in domestic violence. And I was actually treated like a joke on most of the occasions when I had called the police. And, it's because of this, because of the way they're handling these calls for help, that, these things aren't being dealt with properly. So all of this, it all points to the fact that the police are not handling family and domestic violence cases well overall. And I can also see very well how a woman could be pushed to take her own life while living in a domestic violence situation, just from my own experience, because I know what I went through, and I know there were days there when I felt like giving up. So I can really understand that and relate to that. So I just wanted to point this out just to show just how abusive these police are here in Campbelltown and just how low they actually stooped last night because they listen in on my home. They know what I'm doing at all times. And as I say, the police and the community are using the things that I'm doing in my home to think up things to do to carry out psychological abuse on me. So last night, while that story was on, they knew I was watching it, and they were actually talking about, during that story on 60 Minutes, they were actually talking about the two young women that had lost their lives while going through domestic violence because they took their own lives. And it was really, really sad. And right at that time, the police started stalking me. And they did this to cause me maximum anxiety and stress because I guess in their cold and narcissistic minds that they just thought like, we'll take advantage of this. And, she's probably reliving some of her experience right now because of what she's hearing on the TV. So let's use this and let's carry out more psychological abuse on her. So they started actually stalking me while that story was going to air. And they have done this before as well when there's been stories on about similar things. And I just can't believe just how disgraceful these police are. And, I think they're actually worse than the abusers in a lot of these cases, or they're just as bad as them. And their attitudes are just absolutely disgusting. So I just wanted to make people aware of that, of just how disrespectful these police are here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, and what they're doing and what they think they're getting away with. To do that when there's just such a heartbreaking story like that going on, that I was listening to do that at the same time. And the fact that I have been abused by narcissists my whole life, and they know this, and they know that I have PTSD, it just lets me know that there is just no limit. They just prove to me that there's just no limit to what they are capable of when it comes to causing me illness or, psychological pain, or, they're actually trying to cause me to lose hope in my life. That's what they're trying to do. And they are just about to fly over again in the helicopter. I can hear them. Yeah, they are. This is how abusive they are. They've been doing this since lunchtime. They've been flying over the house. But yeah, they're about to fly over again. But the abuse hasn't stopped. It has not stopped. There's certain people that live around me are still just looking for ways constantly to do things. They're still sending traffic up the street, loud traffic, deliberately. And yeah, there go the police again, flying over. So that's really all I have to say today. If you've watched this video till the end, I thank you very much. And if you could, I ask if you could please share the video or like the video, just so that it circulates a little bit more on YouTube and more people get to see what's going on here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, and what the community and the police are doing here. So thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye for now, and God bless.